You are one decision away from a completely different life. And the strange part is that decision is so small you almost ignored it today. It did not come with fireworks or dramatic music. It showed up quietly while you were scrolling, procrastinating, delaying, telling yourself you would do it later. And that is exactly why it matters so much right now. Because the biggest changes in human lives do not arrive loudly. They arrive disguised as ordinary moments we underestimate. Moments we postpone, moments we think do not count. And yet this very moment you are living through is shaping the direction of your future more than the big dramatic choices you obsess over. Most people believe life is changed by massive decisions like quitting a job, moving cities, starting a business, ending a relationship. But psychology tells a different story. Behavioral science shows that the trajectory of your life is decided by the smallest repeatable choices you make when nobody is watching and when there is no pressure forcing you to act. The small decision that matters right now is not glamorous. It will not give you instant results. It will not earn you praise. But it quietly compounds into confidence or regret, clarity or confusion, freedom or limitation. And the reason this matters even more right now is because we are living in a season where time feels faster, attention feels thinner, and the year is quietly closing its doors. While lights go up, calendars fill, and everyone talks about fresh starts and new beginnings. Most people are mentally exhausted and emotionally distracted. They promise themselves they will reset in January. They tell themselves this month does not really count. But this is where the mistake happens. Because the mind does not reset by calendar dates. It resets by decisions. We are living in an age where distraction is constant, uncertainty is normalized, and delay feels safer than action. Every platform you open is competing for your attention. Every headline is designed to trigger fear or outrage. Every algorithm is trained to keep you passive, scrolling, consuming, waiting. And in this environment, the most dangerous habit is not making bad decisions. It is making no decision at all, because inaction is still a decision. It just hands the control over your future to circumstances, to trends, to other people, and to systems that do not have your best interest at heart. Think about how many times you have told yourself, I will start when things calm down. I will focus when I have more time. I will change when I feel more ready. That voice sounds reasonable, intelligent, even responsible. But it is one of the most expensive lies modern life sells us. Because things do not calm down. Time does not suddenly appear. Readiness does not magically arrive. What arrives instead is another year gone. Another opportunity missed. Another version of yourself you never met. The small decision that matters right now is the choice to stop outsourcing your life to later. It is the decision to take one intentional step today. Even when it feels insignificant. Even when nobody applauds. Even when the results are invisible. And this is where most people get uncomfortable, because they want transformation without friction, progress without discomfort, growth without identity change. But real growth asks for something deeper. It asks you to choose alignment over comfort, discipline over mood, intention over impulse. Let me show you how this plays out in real life. Imagine two people with the same education, the same background, the same intelligence, the same access to opportunities. One of them wakes up and spends the first 20 minutes of the day checking notifications, reacting to messages, absorbing other people's urgency. The other spends the first 20 minutes deciding the single most important thing they will move forward today. Not perfectly, not completely, just forward. After a week, the difference is invisible. After a month, it is subtle. After a year, it is undeniable. One person feels constantly behind, overwhelmed, reactive. The other feels grounded, intentional, and strangely ahead without working harder. The difference was not talent. It was not luck. It was not privilege. It was a small daily decision repeated consistently. And this pattern shows up everywhere. In finances, relationships, health, career, and mental clarity. The person who decides to track spending for 5 minutes a day versus the one who avoids looking at their numbers. The person who decides to speak up once in a meeting versus the one who stays silent again. The person who decides to go to bed 30 minutes earlier versus the one who says tomorrow. These decisions feel trivial in isolation, but they shape identity, and identity shapes behavior, and behavior shapes outcomes. Modern psychology calls this identity-based habit formation. But you do not need the terminology to feel its effect. You have already lived it. You already know what it feels like to look back and realize you became someone slowly without noticing, either more confident or more hesitant, more disciplined or more scattered, more fulfilled or more numb. And here is the part most motivational content avoids saying. The small decision that matters right now will probably not feel exciting. It might feel boring, inconvenient, or uncomfortable. And that is exactly how you know it is the right one. Because growth rarely announces itself with excitement. It whispers through resistance. Think about how often you confuse motivation with readiness. You wait to feel inspired before you act. But neuroscience shows that action often creates motivation, not the other way around. When you take a small intentional step, your brain releases evidence that you are capable, that you are moving, that you are not stuck. And that evidence changes how you see yourself. This is why the decision to do something small today is more powerful than the decision to plan something big tomorrow. Planning feels productive, but it is often a sophisticated form of avoidance. Action, even imperfect action, rewires your nervous system. It shifts you from observer to participant. And participation is where confidence is built. Look around at the world right now. People are anxious about money, uncertain about careers, overwhelmed by information, disconnected in relationships. Many feel like they are running faster, but getting nowhere. And the instinctive response is to search for bigger answers, bigger goals, bigger changes. But the truth is the system is not broken because people lack ambition. It is strained because people lack presence. They are constantly somewhere else mentally, in the future, in comparison, in fear, in regret. And presence is rebuilt through small decisions made consciously. The decision to put the phone down during a conversation. The decision to finish what you start. The decision to say no to what drains you. The decision to say yes to what scares you a little but aligns deeply. These are not dramatic acts, but they are revolutionary in a world that profits from your distraction. Consider how financial stress works in modern life. It is rarely caused by one catastrophic expense. It is usually the result of small unchecked habits, subscriptions you forgot, impulse purchases justified as stress relief, avoidance of budgeting because it feels uncomfortable. And on the other side, financial stability is rarely built through one big win. It is built through small consistent choices, tracking, saving, learning, saying no now to say yes later. The same logic applies to mental health. Burnout is not caused by one busy week. It is caused by months of ignoring boundaries, of saying yes when your body says no, of pushing through without recovery. And recovery does not start with a dramatic reset. It starts with a small decision to rest when you are tired, to ask for help, to slow down without guilt. Relationships follow the same pattern. Trust is not destroyed by one argument. It erodes through small moments of neglect, unspoken resentment, lack of presence. And it is rebuilt through small acts of attention, listening, honesty, showing up consistently. What ties all of this together is the realization that your life is not shaped by what you intend. It is shaped by what you repeatedly choose. And right now, you are choosing something. Even if you think you are not, you are choosing to stay the same or to move slightly forward, to numb or to engage, to delay or to begin. And this is where the small decision that matters right now becomes deeply personal, because it is different for everyone. For you, it might be opening the document you have been avoiding and writing one sentence. For someone else, it might be going for a 10-minute walk instead of spiraling in their thoughts. For someone else, it might be having an honest conversation they have been postponing. The power is not in the size of the action. It is in the direction. Direction compounds. And this is a concept most people intellectually understand but emotionally underestimate. If you point your life 1 degree in a different direction today, in a year you are somewhere else entirely. In 5 years, you are unrecognizable. But if you keep pointing it in the same direction out of habit, convenience, or fear, you will wake up wondering how you got here. And the answer will not be one big mistake. It will be 1,000 small decisions you never questioned. This is why the most important skill in modern life is not hustle, not intelligence, not even resilience. It is self-awareness, the ability to notice what you are choosing in real time and to interrupt patterns that no longer serve you. Awareness creates choice. Choice creates change. And change creates a new future. But awareness requires stillness. And stillness is uncomfortable in a world that constantly demands reaction. This is why the small decision to pause before you react is so powerful. To breathe before you respond. To think before you click. To reflect before you commit. These pauses seem insignificant, but they are where agency lives. They are where you reclaim authorship over your life. Think about the last time you felt quietly proud of yourself. It was probably not because you did something flashy. It was because you did something aligned, something honest, something you knew was right, even if it was hard. That feeling of quiet pride is your internal compass. And the small decision that matters right now is often the one that brings that feeling back. Because self-respect is built in private, not in public. And this is where many people get stuck. They want external validation before internal alignment. But it works the other way around. When you align your actions with your values in small ways, confidence follows naturally, not as arrogance, but as grounded self-trust. And self-trust is the foundation of every meaningful life improvement. Without it, goals feel empty, success feels fragile, achievements feel undeserved. With it, even uncertainty feels manageable. Even setbacks feel temporary. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Nobody is coming to save you from the consequences of the small decisions you avoid. No system, no mentor, no opportunity can compensate for consistent self-abandonment. And at the same time, nobody can stop you from changing your life if you start honoring small commitments to yourself. This is both heavy and freeing. Heavy because it removes excuses. Freeing because it gives you control. You do not need permission to start. You do not need perfect conditions. You do not need a complete plan. You need one small decision made consciously today, and then another tomorrow, and another the next day. And over time, those decisions build momentum. And momentum changes everything. Momentum changes how people respond to you, how opportunities find you, how you see yourself, and how you move through the world. The people you admire did not wake up one day transformed. They practiced alignment when it was invisible. They made small decisions consistently until it became who they are. And you can do the same, not by copying their path, but by choosing your next right step, the one you already know you should take, the one you keep postponing, the one that keeps tapping you quietly. That is the small decision that matters right now, not because it will change everything today, but because it will change what becomes possible tomorrow. As the year winds down and everything around you feels reflective, busy, and emotionally loud, this is your moment of quiet power, not to promise yourself a new life later, but to show yourself proof now. Once you make that decision, notice how you feel, not the external result, the internal shift. That shift is proof that you are moving, that you are no longer stuck in intention, that you are participating in your own life. And that feeling is addictive in the best way. It makes the next small decision easier, and the next one after that, until one day, you look back and realize you did not need a miracle. You needed consistency. You did not need more time. You needed presence. You did not need to become someone else. You needed to start showing up as yourself, fully, honestly, intentionally. If this message resonated with you, do not let it become another thing you consume and forget. Let it be a moment you act on. Choose one small decision today that aligns with the life you want to live. Commit to it quietly and consistently. And if this helped you see your life differently, take a moment to like this video. Share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you do not miss the next conversation that might arrive exactly when you need it most.